Hello fellow tankies, this is Spider Grenadier. Together with a significant assistant of my friends, we're turning back to an Italian-like tanks branch. We've made our way from Tier 3, coming from an in-game presented Leggerail 640, till Tier 6 as M113 MRV. Knowing that wargaming content development policy is the matter of time, we can't see this tech tree expanding anytime soon. Second part of this series is dedicated to a high-tier Italian light tanks which will inherit features of agile mobile vehicles with high firepower, yet they do suffer the same way from weak armor and quite bulky hulls. As were mentioned in the first part, Italian military industry have been suffering heavy financial and technical penalties since the capitulation of Italy in World War II. These and many other factors, such as NATO standardization program and restrained military sector policy, implied production limitation on the Italian military arsenal. That's why post-war Italy took an extreme effort to perform some original vehicle samples anew. Most of them faced production from the end of 1960s. Even nowadays, some still use all foreign armored vehicle samples in their original adaptations, such as Leo or Leopard 1, M130, M60, M48, and so on. There are also original projects we will take a look on. Performed in 1976, OF-24 Tiffany was an Italian adaptation of the Swiss infantry carrying vehicle Morvac Typhoon. The main idea lies in a head swap of Typhoon's 20mm armored turret into a British Scorpion's 76mm or possibly 90mm armored turret for a firepower increasing. This simple solution raised the OF-24 Tiffany performance to the level of the well-known Soviet BMP-1. But the sample never faced mass production because the project involved commercial export task. That means selling this vehicle to the other countries. And yet the buyer on the international military market for this one hasn't been found. While possessing a high firepower of 90mm gun and good mobility with a 22 horses per ton, Tiffany will probably suffer from a wide ICV hull and horizontal turret traverse limitation, because the roof side on the historical photo will block rotation in a specified sector. However, the English hash-type ammo for historical guns such as Cockerill and L23A1 will allow this sample to deal some serious damage to any poor armored target it can face on the battlefield. For Tier 7, which is still a foreign vehicle adaptation in a quite original way, we will step into high-end top tiers, which are originally developed by Italy, and most probably they will bear an auto-loading MT line mechanics due to a national concept of this tech tree. The C13 was developed by Otto Miller Company in the 1980s, inspired by other foreign vehicles, as mentioned both Russian BMP-1 and the Swiss Morvac Tornado or Typhoon. Unlike the Tiffany, the C13 was being developed specially for the Italian army needs. The first tests has been started in 1983 and followed in the next years, during which the C13 was exposed in the numerous variants. During this project, various models of the new C13, in which probably 13 stands for the 13 tons, were presented during the 1890s. These variants were all based on the Otto Miller C13 hull, but had different armament or compartment for crew, which was consisted of 3 men. The finish line of the tank was represented at the base for the well-known Dardo infantry fighting vehicles and its related variants. The gun armored version of C-13 presents the certain interests for the light tanks branch. There are 60mm HWMS from the very 5 tier, or 90mm Cockerill gun-armored historical variants, which can be merged with an auto-loading mechanics of the Italian Tech tree. From the report of the Ground Defense International at December 1980, were acquired info that Otto Miller company was already developing an MSS-80 chassis, whose concept includes options of a light armored infantry carrier and main battle tank. Report also was including sketch blueprints for both projects. They seem to be inspired by foreign vehicle solutions from a German Marder infantry carrying vehicle and Soviet BMP-1, same as for the younger C-13 project. The info around these projects is limited, but enough for estimating their roles and positions for Italian light tanks branch. Tier 9 is dedicated to a infantry fighting vehicle or infantry carrying vehicle of MSS-80 chassis. It is also known in materials as Contender IFV. Contender infantry fighting vehicle project seems to be very close in layout scheme to other European IFVs, with a front-sided motor transmission unit and drive wheels, while the fighting compartment is bigger with 2 turret operators, commander and gunner. The project specification assign main armament as a 90mm gun, which might be a Cockerill Model 3 cannon or not. However, an auto-loading option must be included. We are finishing our review on the most decent Italian light tanks branch Pretender, the elder brother of the IFV Contender, the Otto Miller main battle tank. It is a truly fearsome vehicle sample due to historical specification of an auto-loading Vickers L7 105mm gun, but I am afraid Wargaming will give it only a 3-clip shell pool. I've restored shape for both of MSS-80 chassis projects thanks to the free SketchUp utility, so you can notice how small they are. The main advantage of main battle tank version over infantry fighting vehicle is an infantry compartment removal, so the motor transmission unit can use more space at the rear side of the hull, giving it higher mobility, protection and fighting performance. I'm especially not mentioning any recon or concealing stats, because it's only the prerogative of balance and not depending on real stats. However, the very futuristic MSS-80 concept never faced any production. It gives Italian constructors precious experience for the further works, such as nowadays infantry fighting vehicle Dardo, C1 Ariete and B1 Centauro. This is the end of Italian light tanks branch review. Hope you will like it, and please give some feedback so we can continue our work. This was Spider Grenadier. Thank you once more.